Hi everyone, introduction. Today I will inform my audience about what design skills and how to get started. There are three basic skills that you need to know. First is web design process, HTML, second HTML, CSS, and third Photoshop. Different websites exist in internet that have different purpose. For example, banking, you can surf online for banking, you can surf online to check military website, you can or organizations or social media. You can use social media like Facebook. Uh, all these websites define a purpose for a user, so they can build many different applications on websites, but they have the same formula of web design. Before a web designer become an expert, he or she needs to learn the basic foundation of web design. As previous student in web design class at Nova, I chose to define or give a very simple plan about the process of web design. First, I will describe the process of web design. Second, I will define HTML and CSS and give a very simple example about it. And I will give description also about Photoshop and its enhanced features. The first skill is to know the design process. The video from Education Australasia explains the golden rules of web design. The point A, there's different steps or areas you can choose. There is first area is to identify the user. Sometimes you need to switch between them, and it depends on you. So first is identify the user. Second, identify the purpose of the user. Like we talked about it before, like a multiple range of websites such as information banking and news and shopping. Third, GUI design. The GUI design consists of first, consistency for all parts of the website. Second, use of shortcuts to satisfy user needs. Third, offer feedbacks. Four, create dialogues that yield closures, for example, a long logout session. Fifth, error handling to make user experience easy and to handle mistakes also. Sixth, easy reversal of actions to help user undo the errors or not. Seven, user control is enforced to make sure that the owner of is the owner of his or her actions on the website. 8 is reduce short-term memory, such as multiple options rather than let the user type in the informations. Another example is by testimonial of an expert on YouTube. His name is Locke. He explained very in his web design process that any web design project needs to, any web designer need to memorize 5 golden steps. The steps are: first, gather information, always all requirements. Second, research. Third, gather content. And fourth, design the sketch like wireframe. And fifth, development. Point B, the video continues to explore other keys for a better GUI design. There are 5 steps. The first, create a good impression for the user. Second, downloading speed must be consistent also with changes. Third, navigation to enhance the search, different informations. Fourth, visual appearance to project the image and also based on the choice of the color and look. Fifth is composed of 3 parts: test, evaluation, and update. Now that we have discussed the design process, let's discuss another skill asset, HTML and CSS. All we know, and they, according to Wooldridge and Stuart, they quote that HTML consists of text interpreted with special instructions known as tags, surrounded by brackets. HTML tags tell a browser how to organize and present text, images, and other web page content. Many tags are written using many tags and closing tags that surround the content appears on the page. He also wrote that adding CSS styles HTML5 code is for defining the meaning of your web page content. the first point, point A. The HTML is divided into 2, 3, 4, like 4 sections. Let's say, okay, there is a HTML section, HTML beginning tag and the closing tag, and also there is a head tag and closing head tags. Inside of the head tags, there is also title tags. The head tags represent the metadata of the web page. The title tag represents the title of the page, and also between the closing head tags and the HTML closing HTML tags, there is a body section. The body section, here you can put all your elements that you want, or any elements, paragraph, heading, any style sheet, any content you want, text, everything you want. This is the body. This is the most important part of the document. Also, when you finish this code, writing this code in your notepad or word processor, also remember to save it as .html or .htl. If you want to practice, you can go to w3schools.com. Here on the top, you can see an example. The point B, according to the author Wooldridge and Stuart, HTML5 enables you to define many different types of content on a web page, including heading, paragraph, lists, images, input files, canvases, and multimedia. To specify how this content looks, you need a cascading style sheet. That's where we talked about it before, because they are related together. For example, the author gave another example on how to create an external style sheet for HTML documents. The method of creating an external style sheet is very easy. The only thing you need to know is you have to define your element that you want to define the formatting for it, and then you can use the beginning of the style bracket, and then you type your style property values for this element. You can use the column to separate the property value and the property and the value, and you can use the semicolon to separate multiple pairs. Then when you finish, you can close the bracket for the style sheet. And also always remember to save the document in .css. This is very important. Then you can go to HTML and link it. You can use external link. You can use it in the head section. This is an example of external style sheets. Here on the top you can find the example. You can go always to w3schools.com because this is very good website to learn the basics of the CSS and HTML. Now the final skills is to give a little bit background about Photoshop and its features. Also we have an expert point here. Based or according to Encyclopedia Britannica, it defines the Photoshop as the computer application software and to edit and manipulate digital images. Also, Photoshop CS3, starting in 2007, offers user increased features and ability to control their photo design. The first point, point A. First, Encyclopedia explains why the Photoshop is a strong image editor because it gives the user the capability of to test different editing strategies without losing the original pictures. It allows also to users to use a variety of colors and tools to help them become a creative designer. Another important feature also is the user enhanced composing and layout similar objects from different photographs or pictures, and to create a simple presentation work, for example. Second, Wegner from its end designer and developer at Q Digital Studio explained that the difference between Illustrator and Photoshop. He quotes that with Illustrator I can never know where exactly my pixels are. That sounds strange, but try zoom in with both Photoshop and Illustrator. In Photoshop the pixels are always clear. As such, Photoshop gives a much more crisp design than Illustrator, with which I always feel one pixel rule looks more like two when it comes down to the details. Photoshop always feel like handles pixels better, which makes more sense when taking a design online. He describes also two objects like smart objects and also raster images. The smart objects he deals with always Photoshop is the best tool to deal with smart objects, and also it's very important when his customers ask for changes, so he can do the changes in one place rather than just go and edit different photos. So also he mentions that user first image without dealing with CSS3 development, Photoshop also makes the job easier for him to use it when spriting or cropping to exact pixel dimension. Finally, I just want to tell you guys that any web design, any complicated or complex web pages, it's relying on the basic foundation of design process. HTML, CSS, they are very basic, and they represent the scope of the page, and also the Photoshop editing pictures. You need to know also how to design pictures. That's why I represent for you in this representation Photoshop. In general, these rules are the best rules in my opinion, and you can use for your web design. And if you want to learn more, you can rely on these foundations. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.